Hey guys, came for 15, back it up with another video for you guys, back with another episode review of Fire Force. Again, apologies for being like 3 episodes behind in Fire Force, but sometimes that shit just happens. A lot of shit was going on, so yeah, but regardless, I'm here to talk about the last 3 episodes of Fire Force that I missed. And if you're wondering, where's your co-host, the Red Wolf? He is doing his own prior obligations. I asked to see if we could review the video together, but let me know last second. He has to go do a video on his channel with one of his other friends. Last second type of thing there. That's his thing he has to deal with. I'd rather him be on the video, but whatever. It is what it is. I'm doing this solo. He'll be back in the next episode review and everything. So as frustrated I am in regards to that, I'm not going to deal about it. So I just thought, you know what, let me just get that out the way, since that was something that I did not expect to see coming. I'll review the episode solo. But I'm not going to go too much in depth with the last 2 episode reviews, because realistically, the last 2 episode reviews, or the last 2 episodes, were kind of setups to what we're going to be getting here in the most recent episode that aired this past Friday. And I'm guessing the last few episodes we got of this season, which I think may be either it's next Friday, or the two weeks will be the season finale, or the halfway point. We're gonna probably be left on a freaking cliffhanger going into the back half of Fire Force season 3. And if you guys remember, the whole thing is the fact that we won't get the next half of Fire Force, I believe, till next year in 2026. So that's when basically, that's going to be the whole thing. Now, episode 9, essentially it's kind of just shenanigans with Vulcan, Lisa, and the other little boy that's kind of worked alongside them we've seen before. Excuse me. They're basically going to help Arthur find like his Excalibur sword. And you just have this funny moments where Vulcan's kind of been instigating all these people around to basically play off like, oh yeah, this is where you can find the orichalcum, and everything, right? And giving him hints and everything. And then that he basically said that, oh no, we got to go to the freaking Nether and stuff like that. Again, it was very hilarious to watch. So they go to the Nether, and all these instances, they're trying to come up with a bunch of different ideas to like try to trick Arthur. Like at some point, Lisa tries to trick him, but eventually, Arthur's like, Lisa, what are you doing? Like, this is not no monster or anything, and stuff like that, which is funny. But see, they actually end up running into Arthur's parents. We see Arthur's mom and his dad legitimately, like, right then and there, in the flesh and everything. And he's like, oh, look, it's mom and dad. And basically, we find out, like, in a weird way, they're kind of like, they can see into the future, and they can basically predict shit that's going to be happening for the future. And that's why they ended up leaving Arthur, because this calling said they have to go to this, area, to the Nether, to further understand what was going on. Basically, they all basically confirm, like, yeah, the Great Cataclysm is actually about to happen. It's about to, take place and everything. So, yeah, that the end of the world is coming, right? So we had to do what we needed to do. As I see this freaking spider that I just killed. Okay. Yeah, don't know why the spiders all over the place, right? But anyways, the they talk about the Great Cataclysm and how it's basically the time is near and it is about to actually begin, and everything. So yeah, that's not good at all. And that's kind of like, okay, so shit's now starting to get picked up before we end off this season, right? So that's kind of where it goes. We also find out, like, they also have other kids. So Arthur has other siblings now. Because at first Arthur was just an only child. Now, because they've been living in the Nether, basically since they left Arthur, we kind of get backstory of why they left Arthur and everything, right? So there's that, right? We find out that like, they ended up having more kids, so Arthur's got siblings and everything, right? Also, they get the type of, ingredient to forge Arthur his new sword and everything and stuff like that. So, yes. Now in episode 10, you just have it to where you kind of get more of the rundown of like the pickup in terms of what's going on. Now, the main factor of episode 11 kind of was really Sho wanting to go speak with Shinra again, and he basically avoids all the other lieutenants, excuse me, in the Evangelist, like from basically kind of like, hey, where you going and stuff like that. Like he avoids Inca from so Inca can't like see the future and shit like that. Avoids Sister Samir. He basically avoids everyone. Basically, he tries to also goad Arrow and to try not to go with him, but Arrow, because basically that's his retainer, is like, no, I don't give a crap if I gotta break the rules too. I'm going with you because I gotta protect you. At first, Sho wants nothing to do with it, but it's just like, no, okay, fine, whatever, regardless, right? So there's that. It is interesting that he wants to go speak with Shinra one more time. Don't know why. It must be the brotherly connection, but we'll see where that goes. Also, too, we do know Shinra was looking to try to get back into the void and everything, which he ends up doing, right? And he ends up, going back into the void and everything. That's how basically his brother kind of had the whole thing of like, no, I gotta go see him and shit like that. So, yes. But anyways, this episode was kind of something that is just again getting the characters up to speed with like, what the hell was going on and stuff like that. So, yeah, and because you have it to where, Hibana shows up and everything, and basically she's just giving her information about what she witnessed at the church and everything with Sister Samir and everything, and the fact that, no, it is true, the Great Cataclysm is coming, and it is coming soon, and if anything, it can start at any moment, and stuff like that. She also does ask Iris, like, hey, Iris, are you good? You don't feel weird? There's nothing going on with you or nothing? You don't feel strange? And Iris is like, no, I feel fine. Again, I believe we made a mention to it earlier, when this was whole revealed about the fact that the sisters were eating like these freaking plants that clearly had the bugs invested with them and everything, and turning them in potentially into infernals and stuff like that. That's the whole thing, right? Again, I'm 100% convinced, like legitimately, like that's gonna be a role to play. Like Iris has got to probably gonna have some unlocked firepower that's gonna do it, because remember, she blocked Dragon's freaking dangerous, damn near killing attack that would have killed all of Company 8, all the Company 8 members right then and there. But she basically prayed and she created a barrier to protect them. So she's got some sort of special ability, some special power. So from eating these plants from her past, they must have given her something. And with the fact that, the first pillar clearly more than likely is her doppelganger, that also has to play a role in that too. So we're gonna have to see what the hell's going on. But I did like that touch where Hibana's like, hey, Iris, nothing strange has been happening. Now, again, Lick doesn't even make a mention, because Lick can pick up on stuff. He didn't make a mention of Hibana about like, well, actually, she did pray, and then all of a sudden, boom, we thought we were all gonna die, and the next thing you know, we're still alive. But that's the thing, right? So, um, that craziness within itself was insane. So they basically go do the rundown of what Hibana found out. We actually do see the return of Scop. If you don't remember who he is, he was the mole from season 2 with that whole arc there and everything in the other continent, who helped out Shinra and the others in that situation. I was actually shocked that he was back, and he's pleasantly back, to basically, say like, yeah, no, what, everything's happening. It's happening. The Great Cataclysm is happening. I was in the void, and the lady, told us like this shit is going down now, and the fact that the rumblings, it feels completely like shit's about to get crazy, and stuff like that. So, yeah, now you do have it to where Later in the episode, Obi does have a conversation with the squad captain 2, who we know they've worked alongside with in season 2, right? And basically Obi is like, hey, you're just hearing from a birdie, little birdie from me. Great Cataclysm is going to be starting, and it's going to be freaking hell on earth, right? So that's the thing, and it's getting absolutely crazy. So yes, now we get left off the cliffhanger where Sister Samir is basic, because all the evangelists they're like, okay, I think it's time now we unleash the Great Cataclysm right now. So Sister Samir uses her ability, and basically, and we see that Sister again. I forgot to mention, yeah, she's completely in within the evangelist grouping, so she's completely within them. Basically, those rumblings that she was doing when she's like vibrating so fast and hard where it makes the ground shake and everything, that's actually was like the premonitions to like, oh no, we're about to start the great cataclysm. And that's what she does here. She basically slams her fist, and this gigantic ass pillar comes out of like nowhere, and the great cataclysm thing starts. Now episode 11, it basically starts off with like, the pillar being shown. Civilians are like, wait, what the hell is going on, right? And then all of a sudden, you just have it to where this gigantic thing comes out of the water, right? And the episode is literally titled The Great Kaiju Battlefront. You legitimately have this gigantic monstrosity, this kaiju, like something like you would probably see at a Power Ranger or something, right? Like a gigantic monster or something like Godzilla, whatever, come out of the water, basically walking in front of the pillar, walking to basically the to basically like this pier area, right? And everything. And it's absolutely menacing, absolutely crazy. I'm just watching this shit and I'm like, wait, we got kaijus now? We got gigantic robotic kaijus. Now, how this plays a role into the Great Cataclysm, I have no clue. I do not know what the hell's going on here. Like, legitimately, I don't know what the hell's going on. But one pillar has basically come up from the ground. So I can only signify when all 8 pillars basically arise from, I guess, the ocean. That truly means the Great Cataclysm is going to full-fledgedly start. And we find out, like, one of the pillars is basically kind of like an ancient freaking volcano that if you destroy this pillar, it's going to erupt and it's going to start creating a great cataclysm, which is crazy within itself, right? Eventually, anyways, you have it where Company 2, Fire Force Company 2, they show up with a bunch of tanks, a bunch of weaponry. They're basically stationed. We also do see Hijama Industries, there too. And if you remember what they were, it was a kind of a little bit of a mini arc we got there near the tail end of season 2 with their forces. I forgot the main dude, the guy who could create the smoke and shit like that. He's back. We don't see the little boy who's we don't see the little boy who is one of the pillars himself, right? I forgot his name, but we do see the one guy, right? And it was funny how the one dude he had a boss, right? And his boss was kind of like threatening him, like, I'm gonna dock your fucking pay, or I'm gonna basically kill you and leave you out to dust and fire you if you don't do what I tell you to do. Which I'm just like, bro, this guy, I'm like, dude, you were a freaking threat all of last season. I'm like, you probably could kill this guy in one shot, like legitimately, probably kill this guy. This guy, to my knowledge, it looks like he has no fire abilities and everything whatsoever, and it looks like he could basically like legitimately like kill this guy. This dude's making like these peonic threats and everything. I'm like, dog, do you got like is this guy like Suicide Squad 2? Does this dude got like a bomb in his head to where it's like, oh, you don't listen to me, I'm gonna blow up your head like he's Amanda Waller or something? I don't know. But he was starting in the entire damn episode talking about, I'm gonna dock your pay, I'm gonna kick you out, I'm gonna do all this if you don't do this. Okay, whatever. So there's that, right? But anyways, you have it to where everything's going freaking crazy. So, they're all, this is being broadcast on TV. Shinra sees this, right? and he sees all the company two there to do this, and he's like, they're not gonna do anything. I gotta go help now. Obi's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't want you to go out there. What if this could be a trap or some shit? It ended up kind of being a trap, right? Um, and Shinra's like, no, F that. I'm the only one that can go out there and defeat this. I gotta go. Please give me authority. And reluctantly, Obi says, all right, sure. So Shinra and Scott go fly off to the area to try to go take down this kaiju, right? And everything. So in the meantime, you just have it to where basically the captain of Squad 2, he's telling all his forces, hey, fire the tanks, shoot everything. These dudes are firing freaking tanks, ballistic missiles, freaking machine guns. They're doing all this weaponry, right? To try to take down this kaiju. This kaiju takes legitimately this kaiju takes all this attacks, and there's like barely no fucking damage this kaiju legitimately takes. Like absolutely, this kaiju doesn't take anything. And then like one fucking blast, this dude like basically takes out like most of their like technology and shit like that. And he kind of takes and he lights basically the entire pier on fire to the point you have to have Fire Force companies, you know, show up to, you know, people like show up to go help, you know, in terms of dealing, you know, saving the people and making sure that they're okay and shit like that. Now we do see Juggernaut show up. Juggernaut shows up. If you remember, he did get injured to the point he lost a foot. You know, he has a new kind of, you know, prosthetic foot, and he has this gigantic ass cannon now, right? And he's going to unleash his cannon to try to take down the try to take down the kaiju. Now Shinra, he arrives the area, but he's like, no, don't shoot, and everything. And as Juggernaut fires off the attack, Shinra takes it head on and knocks Shinra out. He basically drowns to the water. The one Hajime guy, the boss is like, hey, go retrieve that dude. That dude's special. And he's like, okay, sure. So he goes retrieve him, but we see another member of the Evangelists ended up actually getting him. One of the newer members of the Evangelists who kind of is like, I guess you can say like in a weird way, like kind of the overseer, you know, in terms of the Great Cataclysm and everything and stuff like that. So there's that, which I was just like, okay, what the hell is going on here, bro? He ends up capturing Shinra and everything, and basically have it to where the forces got to try to fight to get him back, but we'll see where that goes right then and there going to next week's episode. Sorry guys, excuse me. Long day. But anyways, you have that whole situation happening, but then you have it to where you know, you have it to where Juggernaut does fire a blast. It still does no damage to the kaiju. And also Scope does tell Juggernaut like, hey, you can't fire because excuse me, you can't fire because if you fire the pillar and destroy it, it's gonna create the Great Cataclysm and everything's just gonna go from bad to worse, right? So that anyways, while the crazy fires are going on and stuff like that, and things are going crazy, you legitimately have it to where like you legitimately have it to where as I'm saying this, sorry guys, I forgot what station, I think it was Fire Force Company 5. We've seen these characters. They show up to help out and save the day and back up some of the other, you know, back up Fire Force Company 2. And you just have it and everything, right? You see Ogun and the boys, they're all back. I was happy to see them. I'm like, okay, we're finally getting characters we've seen in the past back involved. So basically Ogun, he goes in to try to take down the kaiju, and I'm like, surely this dude's not going to do anything, but he gets buffs on top of it, you know, and he actually destroys a complete arm of the kaiju, right? The one dude who's working with Hajime, you know, goes in the other end, takes out the other arm and completely destroys the kaiju, and the kaiju is basically down. So that's the good thing, right? And even that overseer of the Great Cataclysm Evangelist member did say like, oh, they'll take down the kaiju and everything. It's, you know, that's what the humans do. So it is pretty crazy to see that and everything, but it was absolutely wild. But we see that shows in the area as well. Dude's captured by Shinra. We don't know if Shinra's gonna come too, but these last few episodes have been crazy. This episode was absolutely crazy, and I definitely can't wait to see what's going to happen next for basically the story of Fire Force. Going into the last few episodes we got of the first half of the season. But anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Fire Force content or any other anime content upload to the channel. Again, apologies for being 3 episodes behind of the of the reviews and stuff like that. And then again, apologies for not having my co-host on the channel next time. Hopefully he's here next week, barring any shit that goes on his channel side of things and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said at the start, I'm not too happy that his boy at the last second basically said like I'm available to do the video with him and stuff like that, but that's why I just came and said, F it, I'm doing this shit solo for now. So regardless, that's the thing. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Catch you guys in the next video. Till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or your night. Hit that subscribe button. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys in the next episode of Fire Force. Till then, guys, peace.